These are three huge mistakes a lot of people make when they're trying to figure out what their ikigai is. And when they make these mistakes, they feel more depressed, they feel more lost, and they might even think the concept of ikigai is silly and fake because they decided on one and they don't feel any better, and they certainly don't feel more fulfilled. Haitai! My name is Christal Burnette. I'm an Okinawan longevity specialist living here in Okinawa, Japan. And one of the biggest reasons the Okinawans live such long lives is because they have strong ikigai. But don't make the mistake, ikigai is not an Okinawan concept or an Okinawan word, it's a Japanese word. Now, I do a lot of workshops and one-on-one sessions, and I keep seeing the same mistakes over and over again, and I want to make a video to get it out there. Please watch this if you're feeling lost because you don't know what you want to do with your life, because you might be making these mistakes. The first mistake a lot of people make is that they think they have to make money with their ikigai. I live in Okinawa. I talk to a lot of Okinawan elders, and almost none of them make money off of their ikigai. A lot of ikigai I've heard are karaoke, fishing, talking with friends, being with friends, and then occasionally some ikigai make them money, like running a bar or selling the fish they catch, etc., etc. But you don't have to make money. That Venn diagram you've been seeing all over the internet is exaggerated, and it's the Western concept of ikigai. Now, it's not necessarily wrong, but it puts a lot of pressure on people. So if you're trying to figure out what your ikigai is and you're using that Venn diagram, please do not worry about it. The only thing on that Venn diagram you need to worry about is do what you love. The rest, if you can't fulfill it, that's perfectly fine. Your ikigai does not have to check off all those boxes. What I'm talking about is it does not have to contribute to the world. You do not have to make money. And get this, you don't even have to be good at it. My best example is that the ikigai of the Okinawans are adorable. They're so cute. I love them. But sometimes an Okinawan will have an ikigai like karaoke. Love singing. People love singing here in Japan. And I believe that their ikigai is singing. I feel the passion. They do it all the time. It gets them out of the house. They love to go sing with their friends. Would I put them on a stage in front of an audience? No. Now, I'm not saying they're terrible at singing, but I'm not saying that they're very, very good at it. But it doesn't matter because they love it, they have fun, they laugh, it's great. It is a perfect ikigai. So again, you don't have to make money off of your ikigai. If you can, that's great. But if you're feeling lost and maybe even depressed because you can't figure out how to do what you love and make money, it's not necessary. The second biggest mistake a lot of people make when they're trying to decide on their ikigai is making it another person. So many people make this mistake, and I'm talking about parents. 99% of parents that I talk to, I say, what is your ikigai? And they say their children. Now, I understand the feeling and I get it, but here's something you need to know. Ikigai does not equal love. Ikigai does not mean love. I'm not asking who do you love? Who do you love most in this world? Of course, your children. Okay. But I'm asking, what is your ikigai? Your ikigai. Because an ikigai is your thing. And it is something where you make movements or activities and you try to get to a goal in the end. And once that goal is accomplished, then you get the feeling of fulfillment, which may or may not give you feelings of joy, happiness, and satisfaction. One of the three or all of the three, but you will feel fulfillment. So when you make it your children, one, there's not a goal. Nothing is happening necessarily. But let's say, okay, fine, my ikigai is not my children, it's my child getting into a good university. This is dangerous because your child now has to do a thing that you don't have much control over. So what happens when the child doesn't get into the good university? That puts a lot of pressure on them. And then when they don't accomplish that thing, they're upset, they feel unfulfilled, You're upset, you feel unfulfilled, we're all unhappy, doesn't go so well. So if that is your child's ikigai to get into a good university, that is great. That's great ikigai. But if your ikigai is your children and making them do things, that's not good. We have all heard of the concept, put on your mask before helping others. You need to have your own ikigai that you can work towards, and then in turn, and naturally, you will be a better parent for your children, because that's what you want, right? To be a great parent, to help support your children no matter what may happen, because you don't know what's gonna happen. The third mistake a lot of people make when they're trying to figure out their ikigai, or they decide on it and they don't feel good, they don't feel any better, is that they think it's a one and done deal. They figure out one ikigai, that's it, we're finished, we don't really know how to get there, we think we accomplished it, and we don't feel so great. Ikigai is not a one and done deal. Actually, there are two types of ikigai. These are terms that I coined after researching both the Western and the Eastern ideas of ikigai. What are these two concepts, these two categories of ikigai? This is really important because we have the Western idea of ikigai, which is super popular, it's everywhere, you've seen the Venn diagram, and then we have the Eastern concept of ikigai. Ikigai is a Japanese word, and therefore, of course, Japanese researchers, psychologists, neuroscientists have researched the concept of ikigai. And it's interesting because these two categories don't fit together. Now, because ikigai is a Japanese word, then the Japanese concept is the correct one, right? Not necessarily. I believe that the Japanese concept, the Eastern way of thinking about it, and the Western way of thinking about it are both correct, and that we should do both, because when you do both, you are in harmony within yourself. Now, what are these two categories I keep talking about? That is, the Western idea of ikigai is something I call big ikigai. It is similar to the Venn diagram. You don't have to fill out all the check boxes, like I said though, but it is a large goal you have in your life. And this large goal might take 6 months, a year, 5 years, 10 years, whatever it may be, but it's not going to be finished very quickly. It's a very large goal that you want to accomplish. Now, the Eastern way of thinking about ikigai is something that I call little ikigai. Little ikigai. They are the little joys you have throughout the day that bring you slight sparks of happiness, joy, fulfillment. So it could be picking out your favorite mug in the morning to put your favorite coffee in, that you finish that within about 30 seconds. And then it might be looking outside at your plants and seeing how much they've grown. That takes 15 seconds. And then you put on your favorite shirt and spray your favorite aroma, and then you go about your workday. It's those little joys throughout the day that you enjoy, they're personal to you, and they keep you motivated throughout the day. Now, when people are trying to figure out their ikigai, they might have a big, large goal. They might have a big ikigai and almost no little ikigais. So they have a goal they're striving for, but every day is very tedious and boring and unmotivating, and it's difficult to even strive for our big ikigai. And let's say we have a lot of joys throughout the day. We love in life. It's gratitude, appreciation, but we're missing something. This is what a lot of people say. We feel like we're missing something in life. There's something in our heart. There's a hole in our heart that we need to fill, but we can't figure out what it is. That is often not having a big ikigai. So a lot of people can either have strong little, big little, or very weak both. And it's very rare for someone to have both strong big and strong little. So what you want is a balance. So you can have 1 to 2 big ikigai, no more than 2, please, because you only have a limited amount of time in your life. And then you can have at least 100 little ikigais. You can list at least 100 things that make your day really enjoyable. So it's not just one and done, one ikigai, we're finished. It's actually a lot. If you have a big ikigai or little ikigai, I would love to hear about them. I love hearing about people's different ikigais because there's so many different ones out there. So if you have any, I'd love to hear about them. Write them in the comments or send me a message if you don't want anyone else to see it. And I also do one-on-one sessions and workshops, so there are going to be links below if you're interested. Thank you for watching. Nife debiru, Yutashiku. Bye!